Today, we're going to react to an ESPN debate about the current state of the Lakers. The team has been facing difficulties, a lot of changes in their games, and a phase that sparked plenty of discussion among fans and analysts. And that's what we're going to watch today in this ESPN video. But before we start, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That motivates me to keep bringing you more videos.
Rebounding would be an issue, and they got 57 points from their bench tonight. Big game.
I would think under normal circumstances, those are like, the numbers wouldn't be exactly like that. You know, we keep talking about the injuries, and they do matter. When you're without two of your centers and Austin Reeves, that's a tough start. That's to get that behind you. Lakers gave up too many free throws. Too many extra points, a lot of points in the paint. And the bench, they need time. And I don't think it'll get any better until they get a day or two to really develop some defensive structure when they get some healthy players back. Because that's where it is. I mean, they can score, they can play with most teams, but the defense is lacking, and putting people on the line is not a good formula.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I kind of want to start with it. I think when you're shorthanded and you're going to have, you know, maybe guys that aren't playing a ton of minutes filling in, the intangibles, the hustle points, the 50-50 balls, those things you have to win. Because you're not going to have the talent you're missing in Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. You're not going to offset their scoring, but you can, the things that take zero talent, you can fill in. Rebounding, you know, boxing out, you know, switching on defense correctly. And those are the things, if you can shore those things up, then as you get your healthy guys back, then your team is much better off. But right now they're having a difficult time just stopping people on the defensive end. And so it makes any effort to try to win some of these games.
Cara, é impressionante como a fase dos Lakers está ruim, cara, principalmente por conta da defesa. É meio que absurdo, porque até um pouco tempo atrás não era assim. Não sei o que está acontecendo, né? Mas vamos continuar aqui.
The record in the last 6 games, 1-5. You see the points and the opponent's points and the point differential at 6.8. James, I'll start with you. If you just look at the last 5, which they've gone 1-4, and we talked about this over a week ago. We knew they'd have 5 games in 7 nights. We also knew that it was 5 opponents under 500, where they had been great, but they were also young teams, athletic teams that are playing better. And they got the best of the Lakers, and the Lakers have struggled. Now 1-4 in those last 5 against those teams.
Yeah, and what's really tough about that is a lot of them have been at home, where you think you want to, you know, win at home, protect your yard. But records to me don't mean anything anymore in this league. These players are so athletic and they're so capable, and if you don't have your antennas up for certain things like defense and hustle plays, any team can come in and beat you. And especially, you know, it seems like especially they've been kicking our butt, you know. So that just lets you know that we're not quite where we should be as a unit yet. A lot of that has to do with the injuries. A lot of that has to do with lack of practice time, and the combination of those two makes it really difficult, more difficult to try to assemble teams on the run, different lineups, bring it up. It makes it very hard. I hate to be a coach, have to project that.
And with the Lakers roster, like, so much of their usage is in Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. And so when you take those guys out, the Lakers' style of play is just uniquely different than what they would normally have. And that's throwing everything off. Compared to some of the opponents that they're playing, even though they may be younger teams or teams that are under 500, their style of play is consistent no matter who they have in the lineup. They're playing fast, the ball is flying around, they're shooting threes, multiple guys are playmaking and getting downhill 2 feet into the paint. And so even when they have players maybe that we haven't heard of, they don't have a ton of all-stars, but they're still playing the style of game they're most comfortable playing. Whereas it's almost like the Lakers are being forced to play a style that they're not comfortable playing in, and it's just causing a little bit of difficulty I think on both ends, but in particular on the defensive end.
Case in point to what you're talking about, Fish. Portland's without who I think will be a first-time All-Star.
You know, we did a couple things defensively to try out, you know, with Drew at the 5 and in a shock. We played more zone tonight. There was some really good stuff out of that. And, you know, I thought our competitive spirit was really high and had some guys that really stepped up. You know, starting with, you know, Maxey and Drew. I thought those guys were great. Smart was a warrior. LeBron, after a slow start, got it going, and, you know, just Rui made some shots. Like, there's some good stuff to take away from tonight.
JJ, how have you managed, I guess, just for yourself, the trying to, like you just did, find positives out of a game when you don't have the mix that you're necessarily going to have in like a serious.
Yeah, it's just you don't. Just talking about with my coaching staff, we don't go into games thinking tonight's going to be rough or we're not. We can't win. Like our belief level, expectations, the standards, they don't change. You know, it's just this has been like the normal all season, so it's not really like it's, you know, we've won some games. You know, we've actually beaten a bunch of good teams. You know, you play a team the second time around sometimes, and you rewatch the game, and you're like, oh shit, we didn't have Austin that game, or we didn't have Luka that game, or we didn't have Rui that game, or we didn't have Da that game. So this has just been our season. And look, every team's going through it. I'm not trying to say that we're singled out, but you know, this is just, you know, this has been our season. You get one guy healthy, another guy gets injured. You get one guy back, another guy gets injured. Two guys go out tonight. You play without your two centers. So, just been our season.
How was Marcus? I saw he limped to the locker room.
I believe knee to knee or knee to quad. I'm not sure, but it was a collision.
Jake and his elbow, was he okay?
Yeah, I mean, he's got that thing wrapped. You know, I think he fell on it, but he was fine.
The goal to like navigate an 82-game season is to try to like stay level, right? Is sort of the idea. How difficult has that been, or has that been difficult for this team, considering like the margin of defeat that has sort of existed whenever you guys have lost? It's been pretty lopsided.
Yeah, I think you can. You know, I think it's normal to like feel defeated in defeat, if that makes sense. When you lose by 16, but we've still, I think, had one double-digit loss or one single-digit loss. So yeah, yeah. But I do think the job of the coach and the coaching staff and the leaders on the team, the players, it's all of our job to remain level-headed, and the natural highs and lows and peaks and valleys of a season challenge you on that, and this season is felt like a constant challenge.
After the Hornets loss, Marcus told us, it was something that several guys have mentioned over the course of the year, that we got to be the team to set the physicality from opening tip, and that'll dictate the way the game is called the rest of the way. Do you think the free throw disparity in the first quarter was a result of that, or was it something else? Was it guys getting beat and needed to?
I mean, there's always going to be fouls. It's you can sit there and go through and like watch every single. I do it sometimes. I will watch film and I'll watch a play and I'll wait a minute. Let me rewind that, zoom in, slow it down. And you're like, yeah, the officials don't have that luxury. So it's more about to your point, it's more about the way the game is called. They got off to a bad start tonight, and they admitted that to me. And then they kind of just like were all over the map, making calls and not actually making a call. That happened multiple times, where we have to go over what's going on, like what's the actual call here. Couldn't get great communication from Pat all night, which we'll put in the coaches' feedback. It was interesting, and so I think. That's I've talked about it. It's not to single them out, or it's not the reason we lost. It's just for whatever reason, and you'd have to ask probably the other 29 coaches. It feels like the inconsistency night to night within a game has been there, for most of these crews.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Certain threshold of minutes that when you think about a team that kind of has to be whole so you can really learn how to play together both ends of the courts, and obviously it hasn't been the chance to have that yet this season, but how much of a concern is it, and how do you try to keep making progress despite it?
You go out with the unit that's available, try to execute offensively and defensively as well as you can, and that's all you can ask for.
Anything tonight stand out to you on either end?
I thought offensively we were pretty good. I thought defensively we had some keys that we wanted to do. We wanted to, press up on them, but also keep guys in front of us, make them shoot contested twos, make them shoot contested threes off the dribble, and they nailed a lot of them. I thought the whistle was very short in the first quarter. I think it was maybe 17, 18, 20 free throws in the first quarter.
22 for them.
Yeah, it's hard to set your defense, with that type of situation. But gave ourselves a chance a couple of times, but it was an uphill battle.
Marcus, after the Hornets game, said we should be the team trying to set the tone for physicality early, and maybe that will carry on throughout the game. Do you think that free throw disparity had anything to do with you guys trying to play more physical and then just the refs just happening?
Nah, I thought every game should be a tone of physicality. I didn't think that we were doing something that was outlandish or was warranted of certain calls or whatever the case may be. I thought we had bodies in front of guys who, and there was just a couple calls that was difficult, but that's the game, and get ready for tomorrow.
JJ mentioned just sort of some frustration with the night-to-night inconsistencies in officiating just now and talking to us. And I guess how different is it night to night?
Yeah, every night is different.
JJ also mentioned that even though you guys were depleted, you guys still show a competitive spirit. Is that something that you want to make sure you guys carry that on no matter who's out there playing?
Yeah, we have to. Because at the end of the day, nobody's feeling sorry for us, and nor are we looking for it. So the guys that's available, we got to go out there and, like I said, play our game, play the way we want to play offensively and defensively, and just try to ride the ship until we get home.
How do you guys need to scrap out wins at this stage of the year with just kind of where you guys are at health-wise? What's it going to take?
Score more points than our opponent.
How are you going to do that?
Make more shots than our opponent.
LeBron in a world where we see a lot of young players want to be like Steph Curry and shoot a lot of threes. What does it mean for you, for the game of basketball, to see a young star like Danny out there who's playing kind of similar to you in a way of looking to pass, looking to drive? Is it good for the game, do you think?
He's having a hell of a season. Should be an all-star. Obviously, his health is most important right now. Hopefully he's not out too long, but he's playing great basketball.
You guys obviously got to try to stack wins as much as possible to get through this rough stretch. In a big picture, a night like Drew Timme had, career high 21 points, can that help? The 82 game plan to have a guy, put that under his belt, give him confidence, give him something to reference as the season goes on.
If we continue to play him.
After hearing all this, it's clear that the Lakers are going through a really tough time. When the team isn't at full strength, every mistake weighs a lot, but it weighs even more now. And this ends up showing especially on defense and in the difficulty controlling the game. Even so, you can still see the players' effort and determination on the court, which shows that the team hasn't given up on the season. Now, everything will depend on getting more consistency, fixing the details, and especially having more players available to try to turn this phase around. But let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with what I said. Also, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That said, see you next time.